Hello and welcome to Morning Call. Today is Friday, the 26th of April, last day of the week. Always reason to rejoice. I'm Fab from Hamburg, and let's get right into the tech news for today. What do we have? First topic here is that Huawei is doing well, is earning lots of money, even though they're being attacked everywhere. And Europe, the US, lots of governments want to exclude them from their telecommunications infrastructure because of concerns that they might build in spying backdoors that the Chinese government could use to, steal economic secrets and stuff like that. For the first quarter 2019, the revenue of Huawei rose by 29% to 24 billion euros, and their profit was 1.9 billion euros. So not bad. Making a lot of money on smartphones, but also on, of course, 5G infrastructure, for example, which is where they have come into, have been come under fire. Although, as I've reported here often, it seems to be more political posturing than actual hints we have that they're actually building backdoors into things. So, I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical, but it doesn't seem to hurt their bottom line. Speaking of spying, the NSA is saying they want to stop using Section 215 of the US Patriot Act. This is the big phone and text message surveillance campaign they fired up after 9/11 that the original Snowden revelations were about. So mass spying on telecommunications infrastructure. They say we don't need this anymore. Now, I think what we can be sure is that if the NSA says we don't need that anymore, they have now other ways and probably better ways to spy on people's lives. But it's still interesting. So they've been privacy campaigners have been trying to get the U.S. government to basically stop surveillance under this law, and it is up for review at the end of the year apparently, or coming up. And now people are speculating, why would they do this? Like, do they have better, even if they have better tools? And one idea would be that, so the register reporting here that Section 215 is not only used by the NSA and the FBI, but also, for example, by the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, to intercept calls and spy. And if the privacy campaigners would win this, and that this law would get canned, then the DEA wouldn't be able to do their stuff either. And now the idea is that if the NSA, so the theory is that if the NSA pulls out, and then the when privacy people say what they're spying on people, and people can, the guys on the other side can say, but the NSA is not using it anymore, so we can leave it on the books, and then the DA can still use it. Could be. It's still interesting. I think the takeaways here, we have to assume that they're now using other ways, other technologies. Maybe they're doing this over just internet traffic surveillance now. Who the fuck knows? Yeah. Always worrying. Always should worry you if you start thinking about things like this. But hey, it's the world we live in, as a WrestleMania slogan famously once said. It's what the world has come to. Microsoft is doing a good thing. Microsoft is finally taking these password reset policies out of Windows. So the Register reporting word arrived from Redmond via Wednesday's draft release of the security configuration baseline settings for Windows 10 version 1903. The release, available as a zip download, blah 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 blah, is for Windows 10 and Windows Server 2019. The draft changes include tweaks like adding an app privacy setting that prevents users from interacting with applications using speech when the system is locked. Microsoft's also dropping specific BitLocker drive encryption method and cipher strength settings. Bloop, bloop. But the most welcome change is likely to be abandoning periodic password resets, a requirement that annoys just about everyone. To explain its shift, Microsoft cites recent research that casts doubt on the efficacy of password exploration policies, which, I mean, that's not recent research. I've been writing about this, I think 5 years ago. The problem is, if you force people to reset them, people need to remember their passwords, right? So if they're not using the password manager, they can maybe remember 1 or 2 or 3 passwords at most. And if you force them to change them regularly, they need to, if they would actually change the password, they need to remember a new password, which leads to them writing them down, which in itself isn't bad. But if you're writing them down on a post-it under your keyboard, that's bad. Or it will just result to people adding ones, just your password. Okay, that's expired. Okay, your password 1, your password 2, your password 3, which isn't making it more secure. Because it's very easy to, with dictionary lists and just basically smart password cracking, you'll crack that in no time, as long as it's still based on the same password. Because I mean, humans use patterns when they do things like this, and these patterns are known to hackers, and they're in algorithms, and so it's good. This is good. It's good that Microsoft is doing that. Although the register says that's not to say Microsoft will prevent companies from implementing a password expiration policy. Windows customers can still do so, pointless and irritating though it may be. But by removing password expiration from the Windows baseline, compliance audits will no longer flag deviations from the expected baselines. And that is good. Apple, not good. Apple apparently, reportedly, I don't know, can't be a completely widespread problem. Otherwise, people would be crying in the streets. But some people seem to be having problems with the iOS App Store, where when they try to update an app or download a new app, the store will ask them to accept new terms of service, which they can't do. They can click OK, but then it just keeps, or cancel, but it keeps popping up again and again and again. And there are people tweeting about this. Quite a few people tweeting about this. There's some people. I think I saw a GIF earlier, but yeah, here's somebody who's recorded their experience when they get the terms and conditions. They click agree, nothing happens. And then they're back to having to accept the terms and conditions. So it seems to be a problem, although it just seems to affect some users. I just wanted to tell you about this. Mostly, I like to mention stuff like this mostly for your sanity, because if it happens to you, you might be thinking, "Wow, what's happening?" It's always a bad feeling when you think you're the only one having that problem. So if this happens to you, you're not going mad. It's Apple who's going mad. Speaking of going mad, love this register teaser image. Internet industry freaks out over proposed unlimited price hikes on .org domain names. So currently, ICANN, the internet something for assigned names and numbers, is a company. What's ICANN stand for? Look this up. The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. ICANN. Currently, there is limits on how much registrars can charge you for what is it? .com, .org. I think there's a few domains. Didn't they list them here? .com, .net, .org, and a few others. So the most used ones. And Reem says for the Apple thing, they didn't read it, obviously, though, the terms and conditions. Yeah. I gotta say, I'm not an Apple fanboy, but one thing I like is that they have the ability to just mail you the terms of service. It just has a button. Just mail me this. And it's had that for ages, and I haven't seen that anywhere else. That's something that's probably relatively easy to implement, and I think more people should do. Anyway, so ICANN has a draft proposal to lift this like price upper limit for prices on domains. And I think they're starting with .org, and people are saying this is not good. So Namecheap, which incidentally happens to be my registrar for years, I really like them. They do what it says on the tin, give you names, they're cheap, and somebody like me who's addicted to domain names, that is important. I think if you're a real geek, you are too. And they're just saying this is not good. Removing these price restrictions on org.biz and info domain names is not good. And they say this means, prices could be a lot more. So they're saying that ICANN will charge them maybe 100 times more for domain registrations, and then they have to pass that along to their customers. And they don't want that. And I guess, Namecheap, big registrars making their money mostly by people, like, they wouldn't make more money because people would then register less domains, and they make money when people register a lot of domains, which is why registrars like Namecheap make it incredibly easy to order domains, which is bad generally for society, because in many a drunken evening, it was way too easy for me to register Namecheap domain. Maybe I should set up some kind of like two-factor authentication on the phone that I don't have like next to me. It's like, I would say in the office, but this is my office now. It's, I don't know, somewhere. This is my parents' house. I have to ring them, which I of course can't do in the middle of the night. Can you give me the Namecheap number? Anyone remembers the South Park episode about the terms and conditions of Apple? Says ASCII. No, I didn't. I haven't seen that one. Sounds interesting, though. Yeah. So I think we should. There's people can until Monday comment on this. Go comment. I know, I have an org domain. I have sixcan.org. I don't want it to get much more expensive. I already have a very expensive .industry domain, which is, by the way, completely dumb, because I like the domain, but like, why is it so expensive? Because it has a lot of problems. It doesn't work in lots of cases. There are lots of idiots who don't recognize it as a TLD. So I should actually get a discount on that, because lots of forms say my email is not valid. Fuck them. Reem says that's the human centipede. What isn't? Stop it! Stop it! This is going too far. No, 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 no. I don't even want to think about stuff like that. Let's talk about something healthy and wholesome, like the Switch. Nintendo has sold 34.7 million Switches and is expecting to sell a lot more. And they're coming out with a faster version. I really have to get a Switch. I don't have a Switch. I want a Switch. I think my birthday is coming up this year. That's going to be the point. I really should buy a Switch. For that, again, the Link's Awakening remake. Really should get it. Yeah, so they're doing good. Nintendo, very interesting. I always thought they were as good as Doomed, with stuff like Steam and I thought, these physical things. I mean, they switched to from physical cartridges to download stuff mostly, right? But still, it's like having a console and stuff. But they really found a good niche for the console. I mean, I was very skeptical when I saw the Switch for the first time. Yeah, good for them, says Reem. Yeah, good for them. I mean, I was skeptical of the whole selling point. The whole it's mobile and then you can plug it in, but it seems to work really well. And I really want a mobile console again. I was just like reading about the anniversary of the Game Boy and getting my Game Boy out again and playing some games on it. And I was like, a modern console like this would be really great. And the other thing is like I don't like playing on console generally because it's like that couch thing. I like my back's fucked. I can't sit on a couch longer than 20 minutes playing games. I don't know. I can sit I can sit on the couch and watch Netflix or whatever, but like I tend to move around more there or something. I don't know. And then gaming on top of that, it's just very uncomfortable for me, and it's just so much hassle to just you'd have I'd have to attach it to my computer screen, right, and put it next to my PC and stuff. And with the Switch, I guess that would work. I mean, it's just a like little, it's just small. It's like the little dock. You can attach it to just the normal screen, and yeah, I think it's great. Reem says, I think there's a new Switch on the way. Yeah, they're doing a new one, but it's like it's gonna have, it's basically gonna be a bit more powerful. That's it. I wouldn't care. I just want to have one. I'd even buy the older one. I don't, that's not a cutting edge thing for me. That's why I have a gaming PC. But yeah, good for Nintendo. Really like it. They seem to be they're doing good games. They're doing good stuff. They're doing what they know works. Staying true to their stuff. Also branching out a bit, getting stuff like Skyrim and things like that on the Switch was quite I guess an unexpected move. I think they've fostered a nice indie gaming community, with lots of indie games going on the Switch. Things good. Okay, I've got some last gaming news before I leave you here for the weekend, because this weekend is the pre-release for the latest Magic the Gathering set, War of the Spark, which is close to my heart and looks amazing. And yesterday they went live with the new cards in Arena. So if you're playing Arena, you're actually getting them first. Normally people will see the cards for the first time tomorrow on Saturday. It's really great. I mean, they have like this training